Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we're going to have a deeper conversation about Ken and his role in the house with Trish and the dynamic with Marquez.
I like that. Listen, we go talk about y'all three since they made a whole episode about y'all. Check out our review that we just did with Love and Marriage Huntsville. And there's a scene in there, or basically the undertone of the whole episode is that Marquez is coming to the house to basically celebrate his kid graduating and things like that. But in my opinion, Ken is the man of the house, right? Because Marquez has abandoned his post as husband or as father, as all these things. And when he abandoned his post as father, you know, in the everyday works of being a father, Ken stood up and basically became the man of the house. And I feel like as the man of the house, Ken is within his right to say, Marquez, don't come, right? Blair in the episode told me I don't think that's right because technically Ken is the idiot. He's the dummy for basically, you know, putting himself in this situation of being this embedded with this person, embedded in this relationship without them being married. Am I representing your point right so far?
Correct.
I saw a comment under Love and Marriage Huntsville that actually spoke to me, and I was like, ooh, that kind of hit me in the chest, right? Can you read that comment for us, Blair, from our viewer, please?
Yes, so it is Deans9459. Shout out. Thanks for
to
commenting.
Y'all.
Ken can be the man of the house, but it seems like he's collecting someone else's kids and calling himself a dad. He's always bragging about what he does for Trish and her kids, looking for a pat on the back. If it's sincere, why does he always have to give a rundown of what he does?
I don't think he's collected somebody else's kids, y'all, right? But
He's done it once before.
Okay, listen here, right? I don't think he's collected someone else's kids, but should he get a pat on the back for basically stepping in and being a father figure to basically the one he's with, the one he's been with for over 2 years? Should he?
I think he should, yes.
So
I think that he can be commended for how he has stepped in and supported this family. I absolutely think that is something worth being happy about.
Yes. Even patting yourself on the back for. Like, this is not my son. These are not my children. But I took him to Greece. I brought him a car. I go to your daughter recitals. All these things. And I think the thing about it is, the thing that made me go on this side of the debate is that Marquez has admitted to not being there. You get what I'm saying? We've seen the episodes to where they're asking Ken where he's asking Ken and Trish for gas money to come see his own kids. You get what I'm saying? So it's like Marquez come off as someone, based on what we see from our POV, as someone who does everything in his power to not be involved, but yet blame somebody else. So I'm like, Ken stood up and he's basically been the man of the house. And now when Marquez come in, I'm not saying that he shouldn't invite him, kind of, right? But I'm saying that as the man of the house, what power does he have? Because he is the man of the house. Does he have any power?
How do I put it?
Help me.
He has the power that Trish gives him.
Oh, I like how you said that. So technically he has no.
He only has the power that Trish allows for him to have.
Okay.
Because these are Trish's kids. This is Trish's home that he moved into, and this is Trish's husband that she hasn't divorced yet.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
So whatever say that he might have, like I said before, is what Trish allows him to have. And at any point, Trish can pull the rug from underneath him and say, we don't want you around.
Oh, no.
You know, at any point she could say, you know, this is my kids and my family, and I don't believe she'll ever get back with Marquez. But if she was to say that she is going to work things out with her husband, then she can, and Ken would be out in the cold. Not in the cold necessarily. You know, he's a succusable man in his own right.
Yeah, he paying the bills in the house.
Yes, but I'm saying that he would no longer be a part of this family if Trisha didn't want him to be. And I feel like he has embedded himself in such a way that he would be the main one on the outs and kind of be the loser in the situation, because you invested so much into these kids, into this woman that you want to marry. It's one thing if you don't want to be married. There's plenty of people who are fine living together, you know, taking on somebody else's kids and marriage not being the thing. If he wants to be married and he wants children of his own, and Trish is not going to really talk about or plan out those things with him, he's going to have to leave her eventually if that's what he wants in life. So I think that he's pouring too much into this family that she hasn't necessarily agreed that he is going to be part of permanently. So,
and to talk to that point, let's
and one more thing.
Go ahead.
Just to speak on my board, my comment on my board, women are told all the time, like, why buy the cow if the man can get the milk for free? Why, don't give yourself wifely duties as a girlfriend. Don't give yourself in this way to a man who you want to have a lifetime partnership with, but he doesn't feel the need to do it because he reaps all those benefits anyway. And I feel like the same can be said for Ken. You are acting as a father, you're acting as a husband.
Come on,
so why does Trish need to make you a husband if you're always going to show up in this way, which is a great way, which is commendable, which is all these wonderful things, but you want more from her than she's willing to give. So
you're not wrong. And I disagree with just a part of what you said. Go
ahead.
You are right. Hard stop. Right? You are right. Hard stop. Right? But the thing about it is, usually when that saying is said of like, why would he buy the cow when he could get the milk for free? Right? I don't think the circumstance, even though it looks similar, is very different. Meaning that I think I can agree with you of Ken, maybe you should not have dated a legally married woman. Let's start there. Right?
Okay.
But since he's doing that, and I don't know what lies or whatever fantasies that Trisha was telling him in the sense of like, we're separated, we gonna do it one day, right? You know that when it comes to a woman dating a man and she has children, right? She can't hide her kids forever. That he is also dating the kids, right? That basically it's a bundle. Yes. Right? When you date the woman and she has children and he comes in and she wants him part of the life, a real man would be like, well, okay, I'm going to basically step in to where there is where there's an empty space, basically, where there's a vacancy.
Right.
Okay, there's no one to teach the boy how to drive, or he don't have a car, and I'm dating you and things like that. I moved in. I'm going to help him. I'm going to basically be that father figure for him that he don't have. The only reason why I like what you said, and I agree with what you said, is because it's facts. But the only reason why I disagree just a little bit is, what if it was the latter? What if he wasn't a father figure then? Then the children would be without a father figure. And I'm like, well, that benefits the children that Ken was there, right?
Well, I guess my thing is that, because I feel like you're taking it as though I'm saying that Ken shouldn't have done those things for the kids.
Okay, maybe I am.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that he should not have. I think that if it was within his heart to be there for the children in this way, then that's absolutely fine.
You're right.
But my point is that Ken is not the decision maker in the household as far as, do the kid's father get to come to the events because Ken's tired of dealing with him? Like, that's not really your role. You can be as supportive and giving and helpful as you want to be, but you can't make decisions on their father having access to them because you're not their stepfather, you're not the husband, you don't hold that title.
You have no legality to them in any way.
Exactly. You have no legal binding to any of these people. You know what I mean?
And you know what? You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
So you see a little bit now.
No. I see
where I'm coming from.
And now I know what you're trying to say, and I'm just gonna push you there to say it. We blame you, Trisha.
Okay.
Right? No, because really, when you think about it, now let's go over the scene that happened in the episode, right? To where she signed the divorce papers, the person came over, dropped it off, is all stamped, it's all ready to be done, it's all ready to be, give it to the person, they sign it, and your divorce will be basically on the way, and you will be a single divorced woman, right?
Yes.
Legally, right? When it was brought up by Destiny that basically, okay, like, how long you and Kim been dating, and like basically like, are you gonna start planning the wedding? And her response was, well, goodness gracious, I just got out of a marriage. Am I gonna get into another one? Now, here's my problem with that, Trisha, right? If Ken been there for your son, been there for your daughter, been there for your household, to where Marquez's whole point, we got to keep this in mind, was that he did not just leave you in like a sense to where like you could be able to stand on your feet on your own. He wanted to leave you in a way that you would basically be destitute, as Blair would say.
Yeah.
Right. But Ken came in and basically came in and stood in the gap.
Yes.
For your family.
Yes.
Right. Now, my only issue now is, or one of my issue is, I would think that, and I want to make sure I choose my words kindly, because no woman owes a man marriage. I don't want to say that, right?
Okay.
But what's the end goal of you and Ken's relationship is basically where I'm getting to. Now that you're divorced, and Ken said in another scene when he's with his friend, like, yo, the minute that she get divorced, I'm going to get a ring. Like, she had to know, or have to know, that's the intention of Ken, because Ken was talking about it while she was married.
And that's where I put the fault on Trisha as well. Like, she is not forthcoming. She is not open. And if she is a person who does not want to remarry, but she enjoys the company of a man and she enjoys how he steps in for the family, and that's good enough for her, then she needs to communicate that with him. I think she is not communicating that with him, because if she does, then he will leave and he will stop doing what he's doing.
So basically, technically,
I don't think she wants to remarry, at least no time in the foreseeable future. But if she was to say it plain, then he'll be like, well, I want marriage. So we don't want the same things.
And he'd probably take away.
He'll leave. He can get another woman. He get another woman,
but
with another baby and another ex-husband
okay,
or current husband.
Based on what y'all say in this comment, and
that's what he likes.
And my thing is, you don't. I'm gonna say it again for the women in the back, right? You don't owe no man marriage.
But I think you owe the person that you're in a relationship with. You owe them your intentions. I think you owe them to be open about your intentions.
But she haven't been.
No, she hasn't.
And she's basically been like, well, we can't talk about that because I have to handle this.
Exactly.
But once this is handled, like, that's why I'm like, okay, let me ask this question. Do you think when she was basically celebrating, like, whoo, I'm so happy, I'm like, this is basically on the track and it's going to get done, you think that was genuine?
Yeah, I think she was very happy to be divorced from that man and not have any type of ties to him in that way. But then it's also, another weight on her shoulders of, oh my gosh, now he's going to be asking me about a wedding. Well, like, yes, I'm happy, this is over, but geez, now I got to actually have this conversation. I wasn't trying to.
Yeah. And I'm just very, stuck in the middle. Okay. Because
what I said didn't sway you in any type of way?
No, it did.
Okay.
It made sense, but I'm trying to use as much human emotions as possible. Logically, you make 100% sense.
So then where is your stance?
My stance is this. I've been with your son all through high school, right? Basically been there. I help him transition into the young man that he is today, right? And I understand that maybe Ken is not the one that should have gathered everybody for the speech, but if Trisha gathered everybody for the speech, we wouldn't know what she's talking about, and we'd be confused, right? My thing is, if you let me, because we going by your premise of he only has the power that Trisha allows him to have, right? If you let me have the power of being the man in the house and basically being the provision and protector, right? The daughter talking about, I love you, Ken, right? The dad talking about, I love you, Ken. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Thank you, fake daddy. You get what I'm saying? Why can't I implement that power that you give me throughout the week, throughout the months, throughout the years?
Because it's not real power.
Oh, come on. Stop it now. Stop it, Ghost.
It's not.
Stop it, Ghost. So when I get up there and say a speech and things like that, basically,
it's for sure.
I'm happy. No. I'm really happy that your kid is doing this, and I feel like he's mine. I feel like we did this. You get what I'm saying?
And they did do it together. They did. That is real.
And I feel like if Marquez is the one that's over here starting passive aggressive trouble, I am within my power to be like, hey man, if you can't sit and talk to your daughter or be with your son, like, you gonna have to leave.
And the thing is that I think Trish would allow him to do that. I'm not saying that he wouldn't or couldn't be able to do it. Yeah. But I just feel like that's really not his place.
You see, maybe I'm reverse engineering, and maybe because we know what type. See, it's one thing to know it's one thing to just see that, oh, he wasn't in their life and things like that, and for us not to have the details that we have with Marquez and things like that. Even with the scene with Marsau, like, you should be thanking Ken and things like that. And I'm like, he really should.
Yeah.
Because, like, you left your family. He's trying to put it on, I left Trisha. No, you left your family intentionally. And even coming over there being passive aggressive, like, oh, thank you for allowing me over to the house. She was like, you've been to the house, like, you've been in your children's room before, like, don't do that. Maybe it's because we kind of know or at least what we are allowed to know based on the show, how much he's intentionally not been there.
Yeah.
And how intentionally Ken has been. It kind of feels wrong in my eyes for Ken not only to be celebrated, but to also lead the celebration for kids that's not even his. While Marquez is not even there using the time to basically be there for his kids. He's being there basically trying to stir up trouble, talking about I feel triggered.
Yeah.
This is not about like your triggeration.
No.
I made up that word, right? This is about you coming over to the house and actually being happy for your son. And that's why I feel like Ken, who is the man of the house? Is Ken the man of the house? Because even though that's
Trisha's the man of the house.
I hear you, right?
The woman of the house. I'm not trying to like dig at her. But I'm just saying like she holds the power.
She has the power.
She holds the power.
And maybe it's weird for me watching it because when given the opportunity to be part of your kid's celebration, even with you being at the house, your kids wasn't your intention.
Honestly.
And like it wasn't your priority. Go ahead, Blair.
Honestly, I would have preferred to see Marquez sitting at a table with his kids sitting next to him the whole time.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, Marquez, you do not need to be getting up, getting no drinks. You don't need to be getting up, getting no plates.
Calling people, talking about.
And you don't need to be going to see what Mel is doing, talking about, I know Martell.
And that's what I'm saying.
Marquez need to be sitting at the table with his kids.
And that's what I'm saying.
Like making up for lost time.
And
that's the only place I wanted to see
and that's what I'm saying. He come over there telling everybody to like, yo, let's take shots, everybody. Let's take shots. And Ken is right saying he just wants to basically show people that he's in control and things like that when he hasn't been there.
Right.
And I think Ken has a right to feel what he feels because listen, I've been fronting your bill. And I'm not to call kids bills and things of that nature, but they are
their
bills.
responsibility.
Like I've been fronting the emotional part of their life. I've been fronting the financial part of their lives. I've been fronting the presence of just being there. You get what I'm saying? And last time I checked, I gave you gas money to be here.
Yeah.
And then in the whole process of me giving you gas money, you want to be passive aggressive and thank me for being here. What do you mean thank me for being here? Like I'm always here.
Yeah.
And now when I'm at the graduation party and things like that, you doing everything but celebrating your kids, being with your kids. You may grab your daughter's face, talk about hey boo boo and things like that. You know how fathers are. They're a little too rough with daughters. But he's doing all that. And then when it's time for me to basically talk about and thank everybody for coming, you want to let everybody know you the daddy, you the daddy, you the daddy, you the daddy. And I'm just like, yo, then be the daddy. Sit with your kids.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And that's why I'm like, I understand that Trisha is the woman of the house.
Yes.
Right? She holds the power, right? But you should invited me over to talk to this guy and things like that, and I'm over here sitting down basically being a mediator between y'all two. Like, don't give me the fake power, and then when I want to use real power, you kind of at any point can pull the rug from under me. That ain't right.
It's not right, but that's what it is.
Oh.
It absolutely is not right.
Oh,
and I guess the point I'm making, I see your point as far as like Ken should be able to have more say in the household because he contributes just as much, if not more, than the actual biological parents.
Yeah.
Like if he is giving this much and he is there and he was doing all this, then he should absolutely have a say in what goes on and who can come in and out of his house.
Yeah.
But
Uh-oh.
it's not your house.
It's not your house.
It's not your house. And those aren't your kids. And it sucks to say, but because that's not yours, really, that is your lady. That's not your wife.
Oh, man.
But that's not your wife. She's somebody else's wife. And because you have put yourself into this predicament, the ground is shaky. The ground is shaky underneath your feet. So hopefully the person, Trish, that you're with appreciates the impact that you've had in the life of her and her kids. Yeah. And she gives you that same amount of respect and power in the household. But if she were to say no, what is he going to do?
Yeah, you're right. Hard stop.
Okay.
Right. and maybe my thing is, if my friend would have came up to me and said, Marquez came up to talk about you triggering him, I would have told him to leave.
Yeah.
Right. That was actually his position and his time. Besides secretly whispering in people's ears, I'm the daddy. I'm the daddy. You know, I'm the daddy. I'm the daddy. Basically, that was his way of just saying, like, you know, like, I deserve some credit too. You know, I birthed him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he should have used that time to make his own speech to thank Trisha and Ken.
Yeah.
And he wasn't on that type of timing. He wasn't even on the type of timing to come there to celebrate with his kids. Some people allege, based on what people see, that he wasn't in his right mind. Like, basically, maybe he was a little twisted, maybe a little lifted. You know what I mean? I think he came in 100% Marquez.
Okay.
Basically, like, I'm coming in with the intention on things that shouldn't be the intention. And that is Ken and Trisha, instead of, this is my kid's graduation, I'm coming in with a bag or two and things like that. Come here, boy, congratulations. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just being around my cat, I haven't seen y'all, tell me what's going on. And it just seemed like it was other intentions that he had. And I feel like if Ken is the man of the house, or as Blair would say, if he's allowed to be the man of the house, he is within his right to be like, Marquez, you can't come, or Marquez, you have to leave. Because I'm the protector and the provider here. And yes, you may be the daddy, but I'm sorry, I'm the man of the house.
Yep.
Anything else, Blair?
That's all I got.
Listen here, I want to know what y'all think. Am I too wrong? Is Blair too right? Let us know what you think. And we see y'all sometime this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.